birthday, kids. What time is that?
Let's see what the great Patrick Mahomes will do on this play.
But before we can talk about how great Patrick Mahomes is, we have a flag on the play.
Before the ball was snapped, pass interference on the defense, numbers 1, 2, and 3. By rule, the great and powerful Patrick Mahomes will elect where to place the ball. Hail Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, it's now 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Ball is snapped.
Man, look at the way Patrick Mahomes handed off that ball. Superb technique.
But let's check out the flag on the play.
During the play, personal foul, violating Patrick Mahomes' personal bubble. The result of the play is first down, touchdown, and Chiefs win by 50 points. Hail Patrick Mahomes.
Most things in life are not guaranteed.
Mr. Tebow.
Like quarterbacks being accurate. Still got it, Timmy.
I didn't see anything there that supported a foul.
Number 39.
Come on.
Turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor. Tonight, the turnover, we can't have that shit, you know? And that's why we lost the game, because as you can see, we're moving the ball wonderfully. It's hold on to the fucking ball. I'm sorry for my language. This shit annoying. I'm tired of this shit.
Unlimited diarrhea. Unlimited.
All right, guys, let's get back to football.
Yeah, I have to go warm up. I'm about to throw for 100 yards with possibly a touchdown. We'll let the referees decide that.
All right, Patrick, we'll let you go.
Wow. Taylor's gone. Taylor. Goodbye. Touchdown.
Fehlstart, Angriff.
Oh.
5 Yards Strafen.
And then there were 4.
I want to know if Edson gets copyright issues. That guy, when he says, "Oh, sounds just like Edson."
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, we do.
There you go.
For the record, though, our show does get copyright issues every week.
Okay.
Demonetized because of all the football.
Do we get residual checks?
Yeah.
No.
Do we get checks or anything like this?
No. We're lucky we don't get fined.
Baba Booey.
Yeah, it's always this football footage, but I don't care. It enhances our presentation, so
yes,
that's how I feel.
Yeah, now that's news.
Besides, what do we get? Like 25 cents an episode if we were anyway. It takes like 18 months to make $100 on this channel, so it's ridiculous. Yeah. So how'd everybody do on their picks? Let's just get that out of the way.
2 and 2.
2 and 2. So Bruce, that brings you to 6 and 4, picking with the point spreads. Look at you, man.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really good. Edson, you were also
2 and 2.
2 and 2, so that brings you to 4 and 6. And hey, some things are really consistent. I was 1 and 3. I'm in last again. And I'm running out of games quick.
Man, so close to the 4-0. Eagles kicker misses 2 extra points. That would have made one. And then, of course, what happened with the Ravens?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I actually was down in Philly, and I caught him outside and slipped him a
okay.
fin to miss those kicks for him. And I was like, hey, you can't let Edson win. He agreed. He's like, oh, I've been watching your show.
yeah, that's right. He knows. Yeah.
He knows. Yeah, he's like, he's not
We have a channel down here devoted to like don't let Edson win.
Everyone's out to get you.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm done with the whole regular season. You guys can do whatever you want with us. And then next year, if you want to do all with the point spreads, I'm fine with that too.
I don't know about that.
Wow. Yeah, the saying for our I'm going to break the fourth wall, but the saying for our secret society regarding Edson is 5-0. He got to go.
There you go. Yeah. Of course, we only got 2 games left, so it's going to be rough to get 5-0.
It is going to be rough. It's mathematically impossible at this point.
Not with Edson. He'll probably go back in time and pick his friend will pick 3 games.
The best I can do is tie you guys by going 3-0 and then you guys not winning again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right?
Well, that's
you have 4 wins, but Bruce has 6. So the only way I can catch Bruce is if Bruce doesn't win any more games, and I win.
I won't pick, brother. Since you brought me on board, I will not pick this week. I will just throw away my notes.
No. That's
I will definitely tell you. There's a great chance I will not pick another winner because I'm going strictly by what I want to happen and not what I think.
Yes, exactly. And so am I. So am I.
All 3 of us.
Caution to the wind.
That might make all 3 of us. So we got some coaching events, coaching news that happened this week. Detroit lost both of their assistants. Aaron Glenn goes back to the Jets, where he started his career as a number. I think he was picked 12th overall in the first round by Mr. Pete Carroll. 30 years ago, 31 if you count 2025 as a year yet, kind of is. We're a month in. I guess that kind of counts, right? That qualifies now.
Right.
Here's the thing with this that surprised me is the Jets have had defensive-based coaches like, 4 or 5 in a row now. You know, even Parcells, and you had Rex Ryan, Robert Saleh, Todd Bowles. Like, these were all defensive guys. You figured, let's try going with an offense. Right. Well, the offensive guy in there was Adam Gase, and that was
they got bit with Adam Gase. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only thing that bothered I'm really hoping for, cheering for him to do well. The only thing I ever heard from the media, New York media, and all the fans is like, no, we can't go with a first-time court. It's got to be someone who's established and all that. And then all of a sudden they pick him. And it's like, I knew it all along. This is the one. It's like hypocrisy. That's all. Yeah. It's like, make up your mind.
No, the media goes with whatever works for the moment. The other Detroit coordinator, the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, took a job with the rival Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And that has set off a war of words. Lions fans are not happy with that. And how could they be?
No, that's right.
He's taken the whole Detroit playbook over there, so they got to start from scratch. And I don't know how the
dynamic quarterback, I
don't know how Detroit's going to recover quickly from this, because it's like this is the first time their whole group has been broken up since they started this.
Yeah. And I've got a great video clip of Dan Campbell, and it's heartbreaking. The Jaguars made a hire. Jim Cohen, the offensive coordinator from Tampa Bay, lands the head coaching job there.
And that was crazy because earlier in the week it was like, no, he's not leaving Tampa Bay. He's signing a lucrative contract as a coordinator. He realizes that he's not ready for. Next thing you know, somebody else gives him an offer. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move very far. He's just got to move.
Well, that's true. Maybe that's what it was. He's just waiting for the right one.
Oh, I can go on the I-4. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, all right. 95.
It's going to be up to him to save Trevor Lawrence's career at this point. So
yeah,
if anybody can do it, it's him or Ben Johnson. I mean, you saw what he did with Baker Mayfield. So
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to watch, but
Baker Mayfield's probably not very happy about it.
right. Got this one from Bruce just last night. Brian Schottenheimer. All the talk about Deion Sanders, and it's like,
yeah,
left turn, Clyde. Yeah, like what the hell?
Yeah.
No, I mean, Deion Sanders was a long shot because he's not going to be like just go along with Jones says, and he's not. He's he's his own man. Not that this guy Brian isn't, but he's more like yeah, we'll do whatever you want. So
Yeah, because you texted me right away. Yes, man.
yeah,
You text. I got that.
that's
link
all
from you
Jones
last
looks
night.
for. Like the Cowboys are no longer an NFL football team. They're his sandbox. He didn't want to be a competitor. He just wanted something to play in. That's all. That's it. It's his own sandbox. He just wants to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's this was not on anybody's radar. So
right,
it's clearly somebody who's going to do take Jerry's marching orders and and go with them. And last but not least, our old friend, 73-year-old Pete Carroll, and the head coaching job with the Raiders.
That is a fantastic hire.
I think it's awesome.
like,
yeah. And
that is
yeah,
a great
he is
hire.
a little bit older, but he's probably going to hold it for a few years. Well, there's another equally as I don't know how old Belichick is, but maybe he's holding it
75.
For okay.
75.
So it doesn't, maybe they're just waiting for Belichick to become free too, just to take over after him. I don't know.
Tell me Pete is not a very youthful 70.
He's very youthful.
Oh yeah.
My
Oh
God.
yeah.
I would have never thought it was 73.
I bet he would beat me in a race.
I know he'd beat me in a race. I couldn't beat him in a car. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just hitting my prime, so I don't think he could beat me in a race. So
that's right.
Okay, that's it. Edson, that's one.
Just wait till you graduate college, Edson. More news. The Patriots have hired the Lions. The Lions lose another coach.
Yeah. Defensive
line coach Terrell Williams is now going to be the DC in New England. The DC in NE. The OC in NE is our old friend Josh McDaniels, back for a third term. It's so
he must keep a house up there.
It's so hysterical how he always leaves, washes out somewhere else, comes back to New England, and oh my God, will he have the same success again? Probably.
Yeah, as well as a coordinator. Yeah.
With that quarterback, if they put stuff around that quarterback,
yeah.
Well, Vrabel's such a great hire for them. And much as I hate New England, that's a great hire.
I think all these are great hires.
And Vrabel is a defensive coach, so it's great that he got this guy to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. So now him and Williams can set up that defense and let Josh worry about the offense.
Yep.
Watch out. We're going to be hating on the Patriots again. I'm telling you.
No, I already hate the Patriots. This is giving me more fuel to the fire.
Indiana Jones's best friend, Robert Saleh. He went back home too. He went back to the 49ers as defensive coordinator.
Yeah. And now the 49ers are going to come back again.
Yep.
It won't take much. They were just snake bitten this year. And we've seen that happen to them a couple times in the run since Jim Harbaugh, where all of a sudden they have one of these years where they just look awful and then they come right back. So this will definitely help their defensive strategies. So good for him. I mean, this guy's a defensive genius.
Oh, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
And he's back in the building where he had all his success. So I'm sure, much like Josh McDaniels in New England, I'm sure Robert Saleh will excel back in San Francisco. And then the funniest news clip. I saw this morning. I thought of you, Bruce. I had to clip it.
What did it say? I can't really see it.
Oh, yeah.
Is the head candidate for defensive coordinator for your Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is about that is Eberflus is going from a dome to a dome, so he won't get confused like walking the sidelines.
Right.
Because he's going from Ford Field to like
there you
18.
go.
Yeah.
And he'd be great help for Ryan to help with his timeout, handling of the timeouts.
Right.
Clock management skills.
Yeah,
Right. There's a lot of upsides to this. People don't know. We know football. They think they know football, but we know football.
Yeah.
We know the what's the word I'm thinking? Nuances.
Look at you.
Yeah, exactly. Nuances.
That's right. The
I
nuances.
was just digging through. I can't find it. I was looking for the Matt Eberflus still standing on the sidelines. I should have thought of it earlier, but that's what happens on Saturday morning. Let's get into the games, shall we? From last week. So, we'll start with the first one, the Chefs in Houston, and there's a lot. This is the most controversial. This is the game we're going to talk about, I think, the most. Every week in our open, we have the Patrick Mahomes AI jokey videos, where Patrick Mahomes dictates what happens to the referees. And,
right.
Just wanted to point this one out before we get into the game. Let's just zoom it in a little bit so the folks at home can see it.
The
Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are now they remain undefeated when referee Clay Martin is officiating their games. They are 7-0 with Martin refereeing.
Wow.
Something's wrong in Mudville. Yeah. So, I've got them right here. So we see this first one, right?
Troy and Joe, I agree. Based on what you saw, it looked like he did come up high with the helmet, but it looked like that first contact was to the upper chest area. I didn't see anything there that supported a foul.
I mean, this is a huge penalty.
Yeah.
Here's another look at it if it's deemed to not be a foul.
Yeah, good point, Joe. Replay can come in and pick up a flag for a foul for high contact to the head neck area quarterback, but if there's any contact at all, they can't pick it up. It looks like there might have been some contact, even if not forcible enough to be a foul. There's enough that they can't pick it up.
All right, so let's talk about that one.
No, there wasn't contact with the helmet.
No.
You could tell from behind if he moved his head back. I could assume that that's what they're looking at. They thought that he hit him with a helmet, but he didn't.
Yeah, the face mask of the defender hits him in the shoulder.
Right.
Especially when you see the profile view, you can really see it, and it looks like Mahomes kind of.
Yeah.
He embellishes, as we'll get to, but that was an egregious call. But you can forgive one, or can you forgive two?
That's the second penalty now that's been called against the Texans.
Now that was bad. That was brutal.
He made himself a runner. He was dancing around. They take they take each other out. They don't even touch him, and then that's who gets called. I don't know. And I've heard from people pushing back. It's like, oh, if you look back at the playoff history or recent history, the Chiefs are penalized just as much as their opponents. That's not the point. It's the actual penalty and the point at which, how critical it is. It's always giving them a first down and at a critical point where they need to give up the ball. It's always that. It's like the placement of the penalties where it comes in.
And or as they mentioned, they pick the flag up.
Or there you go. Or pick the flag up. Yeah.
And and then later in the game, there was a play where he's running and he's skirting down the sidelines and he gets shoved out of bounds and he does this. It was in the open. He does this flop, dramatic. Give him an Oscar for that one. It's luckily the refs were onto him at that point. They didn't throw a flag,
the fact that it wouldn't have made a difference there. It wasn't critical. I mean, if he was placed out of bounds short of the first down on third down, we probably would have given it to him. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Isn't there a clip? I'm sorry to step on you for a second. Isn't there a clip that Mahomes was caught on the hot mic saying to the referee, "You got to let me know when they're getting close"?
Oh yeah, that was a while. Yeah. A few weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah,
it was during the regular season, I think.
Yeah, and I do have that. Remember, I have a little video that I'm preparing for the end of the season with a lot of sound bites that throughout the year, and that's on there. That one's on there. It's you hate to sound sour grapes. We did this for years with the Patriots, but it was pretty obvious at the time with the protect Tom Brady rule. There's clearly a protect Patrick Mahomes rule. when we cover the other games, we'll see there were instances in the other games where if these hits happened to Patrick Mahomes, these guys would be put in prison or given the electric chair or something. It was just so egregious. But what happened after the game was crazy too. And it came off that Houston was sour grapes. They were whining and complaining that they had to play the refs too. But I picked 2 of them, but there was an egregious amount. Like almost every guy on the roster, including D'Amico Ryans, the head coach, was saying something about this officiating.
Yeah, those things are tough. I'm not going to go back and forth on what I thought was a call, what I thought wasn't a call, and it's one of those things you kind of know what's up before you even walk in the arena. And we got to be better and just being accountable and sound. And, some things, I think we had a couple calls that weren't called that I'm begging for, but at the same time, it is what it is. Like I can't argue with the ref and at the same time play football. I got to go and do my job. So, I would say, it's definitely some things that I would question, but at the same time, they're the professionals. They're getting paid to be refs, and, they did ultimately their best. And, but, this kind of thing, it's us against the world, when you're playing in these type of environments and games.
I think he articulated that pretty well when he said,
he said it all. He said it all. Really did.
Can't be arguing with refs and trying to manage a football game at the same time. It's it is brutal, and it's got to be frustrating. There was the play in the game where Houston clearly got a first down, and they marked him short. Like it makes you wonder. Again, he picked him. I love how he's been well coached in media, like how to make your point, and then at the end, and compliment the referees, where he's like, they're not professional. They're part-time. They're part-time. And don't tell me that some of these guys aren't compromised. It just feels that way. Let's go back to that tweet. Where is it? 7-0 with Clay Martin. Makes you wonder.
And you don't have to really be insinuating that there's any kind of like bribery or money being involved. It could just be like their personal preference that they like that. They want to, that's the Chiefs are the big thing in the NFL, and they want to be part of it. So
the thing that bothers me the most, and we all agree about this, we all like Andy Reid. That's the thing. Yeah.
No, we're not saying that they're a horrible human being.
No.
It's just,
but it's like the officiating is so blatant. You're just waiting for something. If Mahomes get touched, okay. The first thing, your defensive psyche is totally ruined. If I got a clear path to Mahomes, if I even just breathe on him, and the first thing you do is look around for the flag.
No, it's true. It's every time he gets hit, you're looking for a flag. Yeah.
Or you have that just the slightest hesitation, which gives Mahomes that extra second to make the play, and of course that's what he does. So
yep.
Now credit where credit's due. He is undefeated in the divisional round. 7-0. He's got over 2,000 total yards. That includes running the ball. 17 total touchdowns and rushing and passing. No turnovers, 0 picks. So, given those opportunities by officiating, perhaps second opportunities, third opportunities, he makes the most of them. Got to give him credit.
Yeah.
But it's got to be frustrating when you're the opponent coming in there and having to deal with the Arrowhead crowd. The Arrowhead crowd, it's always been tough to win there. Even when the Chiefs are bad, it's tough to win in there.
Right.
And then you got to fight the zebras too. It's been all year long, and we've seen it over and over and over and over again.
It doesn't help that the opponent coaches seem to shrivel up and lose their whenever they play, and go against what they've been doing. Because I think this game, Houston played a great game, but their special teams betrayed them in a couple of plays, and then that you go for a 55-yard field goal in those weather conditions, basically just handing Kansas City an extra possession right at midfield, and of course it turns into a touchdown.
There was so much time left on the clock.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
You didn't need to do
then you went for it on 4th and 10 in the same type of situation where you knew you couldn't get the field goal and you handed the ball back again with still time left. And you were only down by 8 at that point. That's technically one score. You don't have to do that.
Absolutely.
So they kind of just like, shriveled. I don't know.
Yeah, they really did. And
that play was called WWME. MED. WWMED. You know what that stands for?
No.
What does that acronym stand for?
What would Matt Eberflus do?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get sued.
I mean, yeah, they just get pressured into like, we got to do this now, or it's never gonna happen. And then they make stupid mistakes, stupid decisions.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely a poor clock management. It was a panic at the end of that game. Yeah, it was frustrating to watch as usual. And hang on, I'm just getting something I want to show you guys. But Houston did play a great game. They outgained the Chiefs basically 2-1 and lost the game. And a lot of that their offensive line needs work. Let's just face it.
Yep. That was actually the I forgot to mention the stat of the week, that all the teams that lost outgained their opponents in every single one of these games.
Yeah.
Stat of the week. Stat of the week. Edson's throwing down the stat of the week. I can't think of anything to rhyme with week. So I'll just say Edson did the what? Stat of the week.
Nice job, Bruce.
Thank you.
So that kicked off our week, and then we went to Detriot.
Oh my gosh.
Where this poor guy, this is permanent, man. No regrets. Lions fan got a Super Bowl 59 tattoo. Why would you do this?
I have no idea.
It's Andy Reid that Snickers commercial. Hey, great job, but who are the chefs?
Yeah.
I have no idea why we would do something until they actually get there.
So I just wanted to share this with you guys. I just emailed this to myself. My brother.
There you go. That's what
Yeah. So this week, there we go. The matchups, and all the teams that had the most yards lost the game.
But you know what the other side of that is?
Turnovers.
Except for the game we just covered.
Yeah.
All the teams that lost the turnover battle by a lot, and we already covered that Houston made some tactical mistakes, and their special teams did some bad things too.
Yeah. So getting into this Lions game, the turnovers were awful, as I featured in our open. Jared Goff turned into Rams Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm convinced that hit on the pick six really affected him for the rest of the game.
Oh, you mean this one right here?
That wasn't called, by the way.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I think he was concussed.
So do I.
Even if it wasn't a physical thing, mentally he was definitely affected by, like in terms of hesitation and things like that. And
yeah, well, first of all, if that happened to Patrick Mahomes,
oh my gosh,
arrested, like they'd arrest the guy on the
they
field.
would have they would have thrown him out of the game.
Yeah. But I was watching it with a group of people at a sports bar, and they're like, "You think he's got a concussion?" I said, "He's playing no matter what." Yeah, he probably is, but it's the playoffs.
Yep.
And that's the NFL. They say they want to protect the players, but when push comes to shove, big game like that, there's no way they're letting Teddy Bridgewater, who was just coaching a high school football team to a state championship, oh, by the way, finish the game. Teddy Two Gloves came in and he ran one series. He looked fine. He gave the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, how hard is that, right? But the amount of turnovers, and what killed me is Detroit was reckless as usual.
Yep.
With the ball. I mean, having James, what's his name? Number 9 there, Jameson. Oh my God, Williams.
I forgot his name too.
Throw the ball, throw the ball into double coverage.
That's gimmicky stuff that the Lions never had to do all year long. That's desperation for sure. Yeah.
Running reverses when they don't have to, and with that firepower, that they had Montgomery back. I don't understand it's almost like they too, when Washington proved they could match him score for score,
they couldn't.
Or when Washington took the lead, Detroit actually panicked.
Yep. They're like, oh, we're not supposed to be in this like this. And then it's like, what can we do? They could have survived a shootout. They could have won by like 3 points. But then you can't overcome 5 turnovers. Jeez.
5 turnovers.
To none on the other side. I've never seen that where a team, commits 5 turnovers and still wins, unless it's like some regular season game where it's like the top team plays a winless team or something like that.
Well, Detroit did do that this year where they turned it over 5 times and won that.
Yeah,
game.
at the time Houston wasn't playing very well, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But this is the playoffs, and let's just talk a little bit about this rookie phenom who's like my favorite player.
He's great.
Jaden Daniels is amazing.
Yes, he is.
Nothing bothers him. His poise. I mean, the moment is not too big. He does not shrink from anything.
He is.
You guys had...
No, I just.
We thought you were going to do a video. I thought you were going to do a video.
I can't. Like you're right that I just the amazement is not. We all thought he had talent, and can get far, but it's like to play in the NFL right away with this. I know you said poise, but with this kind of like no moment bothers him, whether it's playoffs, whether it's a Hail Mary at the end of the game where, you've got to overcome, nothing bothers him. And that's when you don't make mistakes, when you play like that.
We all knew going into the season that he was probably the better quarterback of the top 2.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Caleb Williams, but I didn't realize he was this much better. I mean, this kid, he's just blown the doors off the NFL. And the fact that he's unflappable and he's so likable, he's so humble, he's just a good kid, makes it even better. He's not this flamboyant, boisterous loudmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, exactly. And then one of the things I saw that's never going to be noticed, one of the highlights or anything like that, him going over, I forgot who the players are, but I think he did this more than once, going over and picking up, offering his hand to pick up the defensive player, the defensive player off the, just not to show him up, but just to say, hey, we're all playing this game. Like, come on.
Yeah, the Andrew Luck syndrome. Yeah, strong big boy. Yeah, bring him up, strong big boy.
Yeah, he helped him up.
Immense respect for the game. This play in particular blew me away. To Brown.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Not only was the pass like perfect, like it was perfect, but Brown was blinded by the defender's hand and caught the ball.
But all he had to do is put his hands out because it's there.
Washington's on a magical run right now, and it's kind of weird, and maybe like we could do this down the line. It would take a lot of research, but there always seems to be these trends where a city has multiple teams that are doing really well. Like the Capitals are killing it in the hockey right now.
Yeah, they're doing really well. I'm very surprised. And Ovechkin is going to break a record.
Yeah,
changing the subject real quick.
He's like 65 years old, and the Wizards are awful, and the Nationals aren't good either. But you got 2 teams right now at the top of their game in Washington, much to the chagrin of Dan Snyder.
Oh,
according to Adam Schefter, Dan Snyder views the Redskins title run. He hates it.
Of course he does. Because he couldn't.
That could have been me if I had his conscience.
That's right. So Tom Brady had Jaden on after the game and gave him the LFG award.
I want to ask you what LFG stands for.
It's inappropriate. It's a family-friendly program.
oh, okay. I just got it. I just figured it.
Let's go. Someone asked, was it Justin Jefferson asked him the same question a couple weeks ago? How could you not know that? You guys are young and hip. They should know that.
Yeah, but
Jaden Daniels did not. I mean, his faith is really strong, which I really, really admire.
That he doesn't know that because it's like, yeah, I'm not getting involved with that.
I think he wants Tom to say it on the air. That's
maybe.
Yeah.
Bait him into it.
But yeah, we touched on this last week. But unless I'm wrong with my research, that he would be the first rookie quarterback that reaches the Super Bowl, according to what I read. I think we said that he might not have been.
Roethlisberger made the title game. I think there's been a couple that made the title game but lost.
Yep.
And Brady won the Super Bowl in his second year, but not his rookie year.
Right. So even making it there would be by a rookie quarterback would be something.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have 2 points I want to make about that game. you were talking about Keith. You were talking about the Lions panicking. It reminded me a lot of a game that was played exactly around this time last year when the Packers blew the doors off the Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's one definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And two, if you look, like I said, we know the nuances of the game. If you look at that interception that Goff threw and before he got blasted, the best moment of that play is when the defensive lineman has a chance to block somebody and he puts his hands up like this, saying, "I'm not touching him. I'm not going to get flagged for something."
Oh,
right.
And I said, I noticed that right away. I said, that is a smart play.
Oh, that's
discipline.
smart.
That's discipline.
But unlike the Green Bay Dallas game, Detroit did fight back on this. They were well into this game almost all the way to the end, whereas the Cowboys just kind of shriveled right in the second quarter and never even bothered with anything. But
I love that game. I love that game.
But yeah, I mean, Gibbs had his way. I mean,
Gibbs
it's not like Detroit wasn't doing anything. He was great.
Gibbs had an Alvin Kamara kind of game. He had almost equal amount receiving as he did rushing. He had 107 rushing, like 70 something receiving, a couple tutties. It was a great game to watch. It was super entertaining. It was one of those games. There were two of them this weekend where I didn't want one of these teams to leave. I wanted them both.
And I love the Jaden Daniels story, and I hope he goes far. I hope he goes all the way this year. But I feel kind of a little bit sad for Detroit in terms of that city. Like, that city was never had that. I was hoping that to see what would happen if they actually reached the Super Bowl for the first time, just to see what would happen.
Especially knowing that they were going to lose their coaching staff.
Yep.
My brother was texting me saying that this might be the result of those guys interviewing during the week and taking their eye off the ball.
Yeah.
They say no. Of course, they're going to say no. No, it didn't affect. But when you're not in the building for half the week because you're interviewing all over the country, that's got to have an effect.
Oh yeah.
And I think Dan Campbell knows it.
It just hurts to lose, man. And I don't care if you're the 7 seed, 6 seed, 5 seed, 1 seed, because I've lost at all of them damn near, and it stings and it hurts. So, it hurts. You have to get up. Bodies beat to shit, and mentally stay locked in and do those things. So, long season. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Wow.
Yeah, he mentioned something like we forgot that too. 12 men on the field on the fourth down.
Yeah, 12 minutes. That gave him a free first down.
Yep.
There's a coach who cares, man. That's a guy who's all in. And if you're the Lions fans, you got to be happy that he's still in charge, because he really, really does care.
Oh yeah.
Unlike a lot of these guys that just write it off a minute later. Yep, we'll be back next year. Thinking about my coach in particular. So moving on. The Eagles.
Oh yeah.
And how about that defensive line? Look at these 2 first-round picks from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 forced fumbles, 10 pressures, 5 hurries, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss.
A lot of people don't give them their defense a lot of credit. I mean, because it's all Barkley and Hurts. But the defense, we talked about it before, they came into Baltimore and beat them up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was this was a great game to watch. And of course we got the elements to add to it.
That was awesome.
The Sunday games both had some snow and cold, and it was really awesome to watch. But what can you say? I mean, this game went the way I thought it would go. That it was going to be a ground, once the snow started, it was going to revert to a ground game. And I knew Kyron Williams is really good on the Rams, but Saquon Barkley is great. And that was, to me, the difference in the game. Saquon went for over 200 again.
Yeah.
And Saquon, the touchdown, just before the touchdown, he turned to her and said, "I got this." Snap the ball. Do it right now. That play. He's like, "I got this." They got the right scheme. We're perfect. Just snap the ball.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's phenomenal to watch this. You know it's coming. I mean, especially these things. He breaks off these home runs late in games when you know it's coming and you can't stop it. And you've got to give that Philly offensive line a ton of credit for. I mean, the first one, you could have driven 2 Humvees side by side through that hole that they created. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, the Philadelphia lines, and we talked about this over and over again about the offensive and defensive lines are just incredible, and that's where it starts.
Yes.
Like, that people don't give that enough credit. They always talk about the quarterback and the running back and the receiver. Without a good line. I mean, look at Houston. I mean, I know they made the playoffs, but in that bad division, but Stroud was like running for his life all season long because their offensive line wasn't as good as the previous year. It all starts with those lines. And
what's crazy?
The Eagles have it really good.
And what's crazy? The Eagles have a great offensive line, but somehow the Rams still managed 7 sacks.
Yep.
And a lot of that was Jared Verse
because they have a good defensive line too. I mean,
they do. They do. And
when you look at the teams that make the playoffs every year, just look at how good their lines are.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were missing Fisk. Fisk went out early in the game. The Rams with his knee. Tried to come back. They showed him on the exercise bike, but he wasn't able to come back. It was quite a game. Here's another one though. Sean Hockley. The Eagles are undefeated with Sean Hockley reffing their games. They're 6-0 in the Sirianni era.
Sean.
So yeah.
Well, just think of it this way. Sean Hockley could always say something because my father will kick your ass.
There you go.
and
get away with it.
Right.
Yeah.
These guys bench press minivans. The Hockleys. Yeah, Jalen Hurts got roughed up in this game too, and you could see there was when he took the safety, he couldn't outrun the defense at that point. He got bent backward, and it looked like one of those hip. What do they call that? It's a hip drag tackle.
Oh,
it's supposed to be illegal. That wasn't called. Jeez, where you use your body weight and you pull backward on the. I mean, that looked awful when he got bent backward at both knees. I was like, oh my god! But he came back. Boy, we almost saw Kenny Pickett. Here's a little stat for you. The Steelers got rid of their entire quarterback room last year and brought in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and replaced Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky.
Yep.
Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett are still in the playoffs.
Stat of the day. Keith making fun of his sorry-ass team today. Pittsburgh Steelers, they got to go the way. But we hate Taylor Swift, so what the hey? Stat of the day.
Wow.
They're both one hit away from playing in the championship.
From being heroes.
Yeah, from being heroes. This also happened in Philadelphia.
Holy shit.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how that's related to the NFL.
Happened right outside the stadium. I think it's one.
Holy shit.
I mean, what is going on with that city? One
know.
week is like that guy gets fired because he was so rude to the Packers,
right?
And now that's
their fan base and their mayor. Have you seen this?
Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
Elgsis is.
Oh my gosh! I'm from Philly. That's embarrassing.
Oh my gosh, that's bad. Seriously?
Someone asked me at work and said, Bruce, you're from Philadelphia. How do you spell Eagles? I says Iggles.
Eagles, right?
It's the Eagles, not the no.
My favorite part, let's watch it again real quick. She says it with such conviction. Like and she walks away. She doesn't go like, oops.
Let me hear you all say ELGLES, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
What? The police chief is like, what the hell have you been drinking? On the side. If you play it one more time. Play it one more time. Look at the police chief right next to her.
Let me hear you all say ELGLES, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
How do you get to that
That's
position with that?
He does the polite little.
And then there's people in the behind her going, they're like going along with it, but they're like looking around. Is someone going to correct us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need my paycheck this week, so let me just let her go ahead. Yeah, okay. We're good.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Thanks for showing
man,
that,
that's
'cause
brutal.
I hadn't seen that at all, so that's great.
That's brutal.
One last note on this game, and you got to give the Rams a lot of credit. I mean, they went cross country. They're playing in elements they're not used to. They came down right down. They were ready to go in.
They could have. One play away.
One play away, and Stafford made a horrible pass after calling timeout to Puka Nacua. It wasn't even close to end the game. But give the Rams credit. I mean, it was like 4 minutes to go. It was a 2-score game, and
It was a good game.
They brought it right to the wire. So. Rams are looking good now. Matt Stafford might retire, though. He's talking retirement. So,
yeah,
what are they going to do? They now another team that might need a quarterback. If I'm a gambling man, which I'm not, I say he comes back for one more season because they're close. Him
and McVay have this great vibe and everything.
They really do.
You know, Sam Darnold might be available. So,
I got a hot take. Someone said a hot take. I think it was Cowherd. If you listen to him, he said that Sam Darnold is going to the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
That's what he said. That's his hot take for the week.
All right.
Wow. Russell Wilson can go to the Rams. They can take.
That's Sierra first. Can we go play in Los Angeles? Okay.
Oh, of course she'll want to go back to LA.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah,
for sure.
Of course she will. Of course, maybe not after it burned down, but
yeah.
And then we get to the last game of the week, which was the marquee game of the week. We all
and
this one
certainly went down to the wire like it was supposed to.
It was another game where we didn't want to see either one of these teams out because there were two last hopes to beat Kansas City. But the Ravens did it again, and Lamar had a rough first half, but he rallied in the second half.
Oh yeah.
He looked really good, but they turned it over 3 times, and that goes back to this. You got to take care of the ball in the postseason.
You give the opponent who's at home an extra 3 possessions. I mean,
yeah, and Mark Andrews uncharacteristically played a horrible game.
That I feel sorry for him. I really
feel
do.
bad for him too.
Couple drops, he fumbled in a critical spot, and then that 2-point conversion. I couldn't believe he dropped that. I mean, the look on Lamar's face when he dropped it was heartbreaking. Because Lamar was like, what else do I have to do, man? Like, what else do I have to do? I think Lamar, much like against Pittsburgh, he got rid of his demons against Pittsburgh. He also got the monkey off his back as far as his playoff struggles.
Oh, yeah. He did.
And he did that in the second half. In the first half, he looked bad again. And it's like, here we go. Big spot for Lamar, and he's folding. Second half, not at all. He recovered, and I think he has the confidence going forward now to take this to the next level. It's just how many times
got to come back. Yeah,
it's hard to keep coming back, right?
I think the Buffalo, I don't know who the defensive coordinator is, or maybe it was the head coach that did it. That their defensive game plan for starting the game was really good. They had a couple of blitz packages there that kind of put Baltimore on their heels and kind of threw them a little bit. They knew it wasn't going to work for the whole game, but it gave them a little bit of an edge to get ahead of them. So then they had to hold on. I mean, their offense didn't have to do much. They didn't do much, and maybe they didn't have to because they didn't want to make the mistakes.
No, I think Allen had 126 yards or something like that passing. It was the talk all week was that Buffalo's going in and they're playing a nickel formation no matter what.
Right.
They said we're playing
No.
nickel defense because that's what we do no matter what, knowing that Baltimore runs the ball.
Yeah.
And you're right. And then they had these exotic blitz packages that were screwing them up. The other thing I think that killed Baltimore was they only ran Derrick Henry 16 times in this game.
That's right.
Yeah,
It was like for
once
44
again-
yards. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah. Once again, going away from their
me
strength.
see.
Yeah.
You know, and they've made that mistake several times throughout the year. And each time they've done that with him, they've lost the game. You've got to get him 20 plus touches if you want to win.
Yep.
Not 16. That's insane to me.
And Lamar didn't really run that much either. I mean, that might have been because of the elements. I know he was hit, and maybe I don't know.
Oh, he was hit.
hurting.
Here's another one that would have got, if this was Mahomes, you're going to prison.
Yeah.
What the
Way
Oh,
into
yeah.
the out
It's
of
like
bounds.
10 yards out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, unfortunately, we had a couple of teams go out early. So, you know, but it was a great game, another great game. Here's the thing with me, and I don't know what you guys think as we go into picking this week's games. Did the Bills convince you that they can take Kansas City out?
I don't know.
They did to me. They did to me.
Did they?
I think they're
Yeah.
capable, but they have to really play not
Flaw.
just a mistake free, but like do much more than what they did in this game,
I agree.
and still be mistake free.
I agree.
Ironically, I thought Baltimore was better equipped to beat Kansas City, but you know they had to get
Either
by
one of them, I think, can beat Kansas City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But-
Allen's gonna have to put on a cape, I think.
yep.
Yeah,
And make sure
What-
you don't put the ball on the ground.
yeah.
What about what game was it? Was it 2 years ago when Kansas City and Buffalo played, and it was like the last 2 minutes was like up and down the field?
Yeah, the 13-second game was.
Yeah,
that was.
I mean,
20.
it can happen because I keep on saying it, and he's convincing me. But I say Josh Allen is probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the game because he is. I didn't expect him to be. I remember they were talking about when he got drafted. Buffalo fans like, oh, come on, what are you thinking about? They're like, oh, we love him now. He's the greatest.
He started rough the first 2 years, but I mean, he's going to win the MVP probably this year.
but it really is just on him. If he has an off game, no, they have no chance. Mahomes can have an off game and they'll still win.
He's had a lot of off games.
Yeah.
200 yards last week, and they still.
Josh Allen cannot have an off game.
Right. No, the Bills have to play flawless football if they want to get out of Kansas City alive. So let's start this week. Let's here's the the map of
You saw that. I said people said that to me.
That's hilarious.
With the weather in Philadelphia. Yeah, 41, sunny.
It's we have a heat wave down here. It's gonna be like 42 down here today.
Yeah, that's no good. We want snow, but we're not going to get it.
I mean,
So-
at least you can't blame it on the elements, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So the spread is 6.5 on this game. And I also have the injury report. This is actually funny. So we'll just look at this once. No injuries reported for all four teams. That can't be right.
That's amazing.
But that, here, I'll refresh the page while we're sitting here live. No injuries reported.
But you're right. Okay. I did want to bring up the fact that Washington's one of their better offensive linemen did go out
Yes.
for the year. I mean, he's not listed here, but it was because of the game last week. He was already listed as out. What is it?
Right.
He tore his ACL.
His name Colsey,
Yeah.
something like, and I forgot.
I was like something like that. He tore his ACL. It was on that touchdown.
And that's an issue, I think. But
Yeah. Oh, then there was that horrible the second play of the Lions game, broke his arm, the defensive back.
Oh yeah,
man. Yeah, so 6.5 Washington at Philly. So Philly's minus 6.5
Yep.
home favorite. Who wants to go first? Bruce, you're in first place. Why don't you pick?
Thank you. One thing you guys have to realize too, they brought it up this week regarding the Redskins. The Redskins Eagles game is the first game people were talking about. Jaden Daniels was still kind of Edson, I'm sorry, he was still kind of woozy because he tore his muscle in his stomach muscle or something like that the game before, so he wasn't 100%.
Wow.
In the second game, Jaden Daniels strained his knee. I mean, Jalen Hurts hurt his knee, so he wasn't really part of the game. So now this is the first time they can play each other at full strength.
Yep.
So that's going to be my factor. But before I do my pick,
shout outs.
That's right. Boop Geezy, and thank you, Dave and Christy, for a fantastic dinner last night. We had Thanksgiving early, which was great. Church family, Metro, Boom, and Dementia get well. Okay.
Triggered by the map, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think that was it's got to be the map.
I got another map, but go ahead.
I'm taking Washington because the thing is, they're playing with house money. They're playing with the points. I'm taking Washington.
It would have been smart for me. Would be smart for me to take the Eagles just to have a chance to catch Bruce. But you know what? I don't care. I'm taking Washington with the points, and it might not be a popular pick because they really have a lot of trouble against the run, and you know what the Eagles' strength is with the run. But I don't know. Just hoping that the Jaden Daniels ride keeps going, magical ride keeps going, and it's not going to. And it's not. This game is not going to phase him, but it may not be enough to win because it's just the Eagles have so much. But I'm still taking them with the points.
Oh, Grit on the Gridiron agrees with you both.
Yeah, and I agree. They should do that.
Thinks they win outright.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. That goes back to our map. Me, I'm going to be the contrarian. I love Jaden Daniels. He has quickly become my favorite player in the league. However, there's a reason no rookies made the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I think the magic carpet ride ends here because Washington's defense.
Yeah, they're not
good.
I agree with you. I agree.
And if Philadelphia can't beat them at home in a championship game, they don't deserve to go.
Right.
I think the Eagles win by more than 6.5. Even if it's a touchdown, that's more than 6.5.
Yeah.
Touchdown in the extra point. So I'm taking the Eagles minus the points at home. I don't want that to happen. I want Washington to win this game, but I gotta be objective. All right.
Just hope that the Eagles kicker can hit extra points.
Whose offense is better? I'd say Detroit's.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but that type of logic doesn't work in the NFL. It's not A beats B and B beats C, and so A should beat C. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I know. It's matchups and schemes, and it just you're right. I mean, it's not
who's on and who's off, and
injuries.
Who came up with the best game plan and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Case in point, remember the Belichick Super Bowl against the Rams?
Another. Yeah, exactly. Belichick against the Rams. Exactly. I love that map too.
Yeah, I'd say the Giants in Super Bowl 25 against that high flying Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Buffalo had the ball for 41 minutes.
Yeah,
they beat up beat every opponent by 30 points, and then
dude, what they beat the Raiders? They beat them 55-3 or something in that championship game. Yeah. So that's the map for the AFC Championship game.
That's just evil.
And the weather, 34 degrees. No precipitation though. So it's just going to be a little chilly. So
a Packer shout out.
Look at that. Yeah, Bobby Wagner's awesome. Especially for his
right.
Age. He's getting up there. But back to picking this game.
Yep.
We got the Bills are getting 1.5 in Kansas City. Bruce, what do you got?
Buffalo. I mean, I love Andy Reid. He's a good guy, but Patrick Mahomes is okay. But if I see one more,
unfortunately.
And now I'm sitting next to Taylor Swift as Caitlin Clark. Why don't we say, and now sitting next to Caitlin Clark is Taylor Swift. Who cares?
I know. What is
so? Bruce, you're in Virginia, so you're in the blue part of the map, which is Buffalo. So
no, that's my house. The blue part of the map is where the Blues live. Get it straight.
So, yeah. So you're taking Buffalo with the points on the road. That's
same thing, but unlike Keith, I'm not being objective. So I'm actually giving you on the platter a way to get out of the playoff cellar, because most likely, logically, it'll go the other way and I'll lose. I'll be 0-2. So
that would be true if it weren't for the fact that I am also taking Buffalo.
Oh, okay, well we can both share the cellar then.
No, I think Buffalo is going to win this game. Their time has come.
But I mean, whether they win or lose, we'll both have the same record. Final record is what I mean. Not final.
Well, Buffalo beat them Kansas City earlier this year, didn't they?
Yeah, smacked them around.
They did.
That can happen again. That can happen again
in Buffalo, and Buffalo's beaten them 3 times in the regular season. Have never beaten them in the postseason. There's a reason. Much like I said, there's a reason no rookies ever made it to the Super Bowl. There's a reason no teams three-peated.
Yeah, there is that too.
And come on, we've talked about it all year. We've got video evidence. The Chiefs have not. I've said it before. They've dog walked one team. This one, they have not looked good all year. They've gotten weird things happen, calls that went their way. A doink field goal at the last minute. Like, it's just that it's over. It's over. They're done. They're going home finally, and we're gonna have, I think, the Eagles and the Bills in the Super Bowl.
I hope so. I mean, I actually hope it's Buffalo and Washington, but
that's what I'm hoping too.
But what I hope is not, hope is not a way to do it. It's like you got to look at the reality of it.
That is very, very true. So, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's
right.
I know we'll be texting each other all night going.
Okay, I just thought of something yesterday, so we can use our playoff and football acumen. Another good word.
Oh,
so I have three trivia questions for you guys. Okay, first one. Who was the first quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards?
First?
Dan Marino.
He does 5,000 yards.
Oh.
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, right.
Yeah, I'm too young for that one, but okay.
I worked with him, that's probably why.
He probably told you like 7 times.
Bruce is like, that's 2.
I got a story about Joe. Remind me to tell you a quick story about Joe at the end of this.
Okay.
What team has lost the most playoff games?
Oh, wow.
Vikings?
That's right.
Wow, yeah. Holy cow, because they lost 4 Super Bowls, right? Or 3? Maybe, I don't know.
4 Super Bowls and a bunch of championship games. And
Right.
Right.
And what quarterback has thrown the most interceptions? That's easy.
Career?
Yes.
Johnny Manziel.
No.
Not enough games. The most interceptions, Joe Namath.
No.
Manning?
No.
It's got to be somebody from like the 70s because they were really reckless with the ball. Terry Bradshaw.
Brett Favre.
Oh, Brett Favre.
Right.
He was reckless with the ball.
Yeah.
Triple coverage. I can do it.
Remember that playoff game? I think it was against the Rams. He threw 6 picks.
Right. And they lost 11-8.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? Kirby Puckett hit a 3-run homer? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, Bruce, I can't leave without telling you this because it's right up your alley.
What you got?
Stat of the century. Okay.
Stat of the century. Okay.
The 21st century. Now with Washington making it this year, which is the only NFC team who has not made the championship game?
Oh, I know that one because I saw that
2000s. Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, right up your alley.
I saw that.
That's what I mean. Jerry Jones's sandbox.
It's getting pretty deep in here. Let me talk to my boys and see if we can get something done.
So are you saying this isn't going to affect that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe he will.
Nah, come on. You said it
The thing
yourself.
is, though, I liked his father, Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
He was a good coach, but he was always snake bit.
Well, Marty did
In the
what
playoffs, yeah.
what Edson talks about a lot, where teams they change their whole philosophy and their whole game plan when they come to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Bill Cowher, who was a direct disciple of Marty, used to do that with the Steelers. He'd get to the championship game and like different, actually throughout all the playoffs, he would just
throw everything out.
Right. And just get conservative. And it's like, what are you doing? Do what got you there.
Yeah.
And you know, they their butthole gets all clenched up. For lack of a better term. So my Joe Namath story real quick.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go because I know Bruce has to be somewhere. But so I was working with Joe 20 years ago, 2004, 2005. And we were on these tours. He was peddling arthritis medicine, or he's a spokesperson for it. And he would sign autographs and we would do these live, camera shows with him. There was a break and there's a stack of footballs there and we're on a break and I'm just standing around and Joe's like, hey, he called me Pittsburgh. He's like, hey, Pittsburgh, want to go throw a ball? I'm like, sure. So we go out in the hallway of this hotel and we're throwing the football. And he's like, man, who taught you how to throw a football? And I said, my stepdad did. He goes, what was he? Come over here. Show me what he taught you. And I come over and I show him, he showed me, put my fingers on the laces. Well, he goes, man, no. He goes, let me show you. And he takes the ball and he goes, put your index finger on the back, on the tip. And I'm like, Joe. And I put my hand up. I go, look at my hand. Look at your hand. His hand's twice the size of mine.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's like, that don't matter. Just listen to Joe Willie. Put your
If
finger
I can
here.
hear this.
He goes, now bring it back up right here. So I have like only these two fingers on the laces and the rest of my hand on the back of the ball. He goes, bring it back up behind your ear, cock it, and then just snap your wrist when you throw. He goes, do your throw motion, just snap your wrist at the top. So I go back down the hall and I do what he tells me and I throw a laser perfect spiral frozen rope right to him. He
Damn.
goes, now you go tell your stepdad that Joe Willie fixed you.
Wow.
Yeah. And I will always cherish that Joe Namath taught me how to throw a football properly.
I got Edson. This is going to be up. If you get this is like the man. I have some friends that I've known for I grew up with, and their dad is like my second dad. He would play football with us, and he would throw the football in an unusual way. He'd say, "Yeah, you take the football, and you put your thumb where the laces are, then snap it and throw it like that." And I'm like, "Take your thumb? Who taught you that?" And he said to me, "Well, being a Redskins fan for so many years, I used to watch Sammy Baugh do that." And I'm like, Sammy Baugh has been dead for 45 years.
I was going to say Sid Luckman taught him how to do that.
Wow. Damn.
I'm like, Sammy Baugh, okay. All right, I'm not going to. You're good.
So, yeah, and I do feel for Joe that, he's so optimistic every year, and boy, they are bad. But
Joe Namath still has the greatest line that only America knows about. With Susie Colbert, I want to kiss you.
And that happened. That happened when we were working with him, actually, and we thought we were done.
Is that a true story that he was really fired up?
He was drunk. Yeah, he was drunk off his ass, and we thought that's it. We're done. It was right in the middle of that 2-year run when we were working with him, and the company figured, you know what? We're going to use this as another Joe Namath reclamation story. And because when we were going out with him, and I don't want to tell tales out of school, but he would sip wine.
Oh.
And by the end of the night, it was like he'd been sipping wine for hours. But he started drinking nothing but coffee after that incident. Then you had him, he was like, at 11 p.m., he's like, hey,
wow.
Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta say, they always say be careful when you meet your heroes, and that man is everything he appears to be. He is genuine. He's a great guy. He's somebody you'd want your kids to, to idolize. He's hardworking. He's got great. He's just awesome. I can't say enough about him. And I'm glad I got to know him.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe that was 20 years ago. I remember celebrating his 60th birthday with him, and now he's 80. It's crazy.
Oh, here's one for you. A couple of days ago, they had an interview with this guy, and he said, well, I think my team's going to do all right. Of course, I'm their number one fan. It's like, it was an honor to work with them years ago, and I still root for them. And someone wrote down, so how does it feel to be 84? Joe Gibbs.
Wow.
I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, wow. It's heartbreaking to see, these guys like, Mean Joe Green's in his 70s now, and it's sad. What
yes,
happened?
it is.
Time is a cruel beast, man.
Yeah.
It really. How old is
we're still waiting for Edson to graduate from PK.
Yeah. Joe Green's 78.
That's why Edson relates so well to sandboxes, because he plays them all day long.
That's what I mean. Sandbox.
I hate you. I really, really do.
Well,
all right, boys.
Let's hope we enjoy the games.
Yes.
Yep. We'll be texting each other, I'm sure. Good luck to anybody out there if your teams are still in it.
Right.
Please like, share, and subscribe if so inclined. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching the replay. And we'll see you next week for the championship wrap up and Super Bowl preview. We got that dead week next week.
Yeah, we could do like a year review, or we were talking about who our favorite players were growing up and stuff like that. We could just like
Super Bowl,
as you say, spitball. Spitball.
It's all alone in the moonlight.
What was that?
Super Bowl memories.
Not sure I could take that one. Wow.
Oh, here's one for you. So we were talking about this last night at dinner. I said, what is the worst? I mean, all of us, I'm not sure if Edson remembers this show, The $6 Million Man. Okay.
Was that silent or is that real?
That's 3.
Black and
$6
white.
Million Man. They said, what is the worst thing you remember about that TV show? And my friend Dave said, when Steve Austin, aka Lee Majors, sang a song to Jamie Summers called Jamie.
Oh, wow.
And it's beyond horrible. I'll send it to you guys. I mean, you will want to put the earphones out in the middle of the snow after hearing this song.
Okay.
But
wait, I'm just hang on a second. I'm just doing the inflation calculator to see. So in today's dollars, he'd be worth $33.7 million.
To reconstruct him, yeah.
Yeah, so he's the $33.7 million man now.
Okay.
Do.
Thank you, Steve Majors. You don't get that kind of info on other football shows. Just here.
That's why we scrutinize. Oh man, I'm using big words today. Where am I getting these words from?
I don't know, because I've been brain farting most of this show.
Brain farting.
Are we on the air? What?
All right.
Unlimited diarrhea.
And that's why they lost the championship game. I mean,
it's stretched properly.
You didn't do that in the divisional game, so they lost. Whatever. All right, I'm out.
I'm done.
See you guys next week. Bye.
All right,
Yes, I think no. Yes, the joyfulness is over. The joyfulness is over.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.